The most heinous betrayal of the year just happened in court. So family, hold on tight. Can you picture your so-called ride or die turning on you after all these years? We're talking about YNW Bortlen, who was once loyal to the core, but is now under fire after accepting a plea agreement that has angered Melly's family and followers. Did Melly really just avoid multiple life sentences and the possible death penalty, even though his future remains in doubt? He won't even admit to shooting the gun, which is the worst part. But for some reason, the prosecution is grinning heartily at this gunner's plea. You wonder if this street code constitutes betrayal, or is the hostile, frigid setting of the rap game Survival 101. He is being called a cheese eater, a traitor, and a snitch by the hip-hop community. The drama rages on, tensions increase, and Melly's retrial is delayed. How did a night in 2018, a vehicle journey, and 2 horrific fatalities culminate in the most intense court struggle in modern history? Watch closely, because we're going to uncover every secret, betrayal, and shocking revelation that will leave you stunned. Drop. I can guarantee you won't want to blink. YNW Melly and YNW Bortlen were betrayed in a way that made your blood boil during your popcorn game, so listen up, family. Furthermore, our exploration is still in its early stages. The murders of Melly's best friends and colleagues, Sack Chaser and Juvie, during what appeared to be a typical late-night studio session in 2018, completely upended his world. A promising career in danger of failing, the deaths of 2 young people, and a labyrinth of lies, cover-ups, and street code politics that would make even the most loyal followers question their entire loyalty theory. When they left the studio, Melly first said it was a drive-by shooting, an act of aggression against them that made no sense. But investigators did not accept it. Video footage, GPS data, and the body's location all came together to produce a horrifyingly different image. Melly was identified as the shooter, and Bortlen as the driver. The scene was chaotic, confusing, and foreboding film-like. Broken glass, blood, shells, and 2 deceased friends in the backseat of a car that should have been full of positive thoughts and wonderful energy. Now let's talk about the man at the center of this dispute, Bortlen. He presented himself as being loyal to Melly for years, sticking by him no matter what. Even though there were rumors going around online and in the press. Legal survival and street code allegiance aren't always compatible, which is the issue. The pressure from the prosecutors became unbearable by September 9th, 2025. Despite the risk of death and many life sentences, Bortlen did the unthinkable. A plea deal was accepted by him. Family, this is more than a request. He later acknowledged his role in the infamous gunner plea, hiding evidence and influencing witnesses. But most significantly, he did not directly blame Melly. Think for a second about that. A lot of street culture is present. Hip-hop fans are exploding. Snitch, traitor, cheese. Words are spreading everywhere. And what are you aware of? Legally speaking, Bortlen didn't even admit his guilt like the rest of the world does. He was a crucial tool for the prosecution, yet his plea protected him from the harshest penalties. The stakes in that chess game are pretty high. Melly departs with a ticket to start over. 6 years of probation and 10 years in prison, but his retrial is consistently delayed until 2027. Whether this was self-preservation or a heartless betrayal is now being questioned by many. It doesn't end there though. There was more to the court spectacle than just displaying legal arguments. It showed that street commitment and legal skill were at odds across generations. Angry fans, relatives, and even business insiders accused Bortlen of leaving Melly behind. Prosecutors discreetly smiled, knowing that their case against Melly was going to get considerably stronger. However, Melly is not directly Bortlen's accurate statement. A sworn account of his actions after the murders gave prosecutors a lot of leverage when he was charged. As the plea hearing became viral, the drama intensified. There were many people in the courtroom. There were no telephones. On social media, fans were making assumptions, making accusations, and arguing. Melly's family watched in shock as reporters, judges, and lawyers scrutinized every one of Bortlen's admissions and every word of the plea deal. Street code places a strong emphasis on loyalty. The law says that survival is paramount. Here, Bortlen found the line and went over it. Additionally, the public's reaction cannot be ignored. Reactions on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter ranged from confusion to disbelief. Why was he doing it? Melly, stay strong. There are stitches. At the same time, fans talked about how it affected Melly's trial. Would it be because of Bortlen's actions? Would the prosecutors have enough proof to finally convict Melly? Or is this simply another chapter in a tale where the streets and the law collide, leaving everyone to wonder who will survive? Let's take a closer look. Bortlen's request was not merely a formality, it was a calculated action, a calculated risk. His lack of cooperation made the prosecution's evidence of tampering and accessory charges strong, further casting doubt on Melly's retrial. Fans may consider this to be snitching, but legally it is a survival tactic. Street versus law, liberty versus allegiance. That's where the real battle is. What do you know? People are all excited to see what will happen next. For one error in this game could change people's lives forever. However, here's the twist. Despite Bortlen's popularity, Melly's story is far from over. The investigators include carrying on with your excavation. Lawyers continue to make plans, and the hip-hop scene is apprehensive, wondering who will win, who will turn against them, and who will come out on top. The stakes are higher than ever before, when things get serious and the drama starts. It's chaotic in YNW Melly's world right now. On the streets and online, the courtroom drama is also generating a lot of conversation. Following Bortlen's unexpected gunner plea, everyone is curious about the gravity of this betrayal and how it impacts Melly's already complicated case. A clarification is necessary initially. Bortlen had a reason for folding. He took a strategic move to get out of the legal nightmare. If convicted, he would be sentenced to 5 mandatory life sentences plus an additional 75 years. Although he acknowledged his role in the killings, including tampering with witnesses to help hide evidence, his plea did not specifically call Melly a snitch. I'm chilled enough by it. Melly is shivering because, even without mentioning Bortlen, his help gives prosecutors a lot of power. Imagine the ambience in the courtroom on that particular day. Melly's family watched in disbelief and amazement as phones and cameras recorded and flashed during the court proceedings. The prosecution, lawyers, and judge were engaged in a high-stakes game of chess. Each nod, statement, and admission was carefully considered. In the meantime, online street culture took off. The remarks flew like bullets. Bortlen had deceived Melly, the century's best snitch. Melly, stay strong, family. There were memes, controversial posts, and endless speculation on social media. There was more to it than court. This was an obvious issue of legal strategy versus street code. But let's examine the scandal itself. Melly's 2 pals, Zach Chaser and Juvie, were mysteriously murdered in 2018. Melly declared a drive-by shooting. However, the facts disproved this. Melly was the shooter, Bortlen was the driver, and the deaths occurred inside the car, according to forensic analysis, GPS triangulation, and video evidence. Let's go ahead to 2025. After years of investigations, delays, and mistrials, Bortlen finally accepted the plea deal. The streets perceived it as the ultimate betrayal, despite the fact that it was a calculated survival strategy. Fans and commentators are now analyzing the repercussions. Bortlen's argument is particularly significant. Although he doesn't specifically blame Melly, his knowledge about tampering with witnesses and concealing evidence provides investigators with a framework for piecing together what happened. Legal experts are characterizing the Melly case as a powerful tool. Melly's retrial, which has been delayed until 2027, gets uncomfortable because fans see it as a nightmare of snitching. Every speech, every action, and every development might tip the scales. The public's reaction will now be the main emphasis. Hip-hop communities, street forums, and social media streams went bananas when the request went viral. Memes, conspiracy theories, and outrage were common in tweets, TikToks, and Instagram posts. While the majority of supporters are incensed, some sympathize with Bortlen because they recognize his survival instincts and legal strategy. A traitor, snitch, and fucking betrayed him. The narrative is clear. Street allegiance appears to have been violated, and the violation hurts. But here's the worst part. This transcends street repute and sensitivity. Legally speaking, Bortlen's petition is well crafted, accessory after the fact, and witness manipulation. Despite being held accountable for these accusations, he is exempt from the worst penalties. He is sentenced to 10 years in prison, 6 years of probation, and credit for time served. Prosecutors are bolstering their case for Melly's retrial because Bortlen has confirmed evidence they had already suspected. Presenting them with a puzzle that is missing pieces is comparable to showed up, think about it. Melly's co-defendant just made a premeditated move that could indirectly affect his trial without even addressing him. Unquestionably, the stressful courtroom scenes, the chaos on social media, and the street talk all reflect one thing. This is not where the story ends. Every hip-hop fan, insider, and lawyer is now closely monitoring the situation, waiting to see what will happen next. According to anonymous sources that only true investigative insiders can reference, Melly's legal team is furious and desperately attempting to alter their strategy. "We knew this was coming," one person said. Internal memos and strategy briefings that show a legal staff under strain, recalculating every possible outcome, are also mentioned in leaked tales. On the street, though, the story is clear. But the way Bortlen structured his plea, that's next-level chess. Melly has to rethink every move now. Bortlen is a snitch. Fans are drawing comparisons to other well-known cases, including the Ganesh trial, where loyalty and legal survival clashed catastrophically. The rage is real, and the parallels are inevitable. Numerous popular threads, memes, and hashtags on social media offer in-depth analyses of the betrayal. Everyone wants to know how Melly will respond. How will his family feel about the humiliation? Concerning Bortlen's future, who at the moment walks a tightrope between surviving and popular scorn, the drama continues to worsen as we examine the effects on hip-hop culture. Contributions are coming from partners, friends, and business insiders. Some defend Bortlen as intelligent, while others accuse him of being a traitor who gave up loyalty for freedom. Interviews, social media videos, and even TikTok breakdowns show how the argument is dividing the community. The law or street code takes precedence when someone's life is in danger. Then comes the most explosive part. In addition, Melly's retrial has been postponed. It's currently in danger from a strategic standpoint. Even if it was indirect, Bortlen's promised statement might provide prosecutors the dates, background, and guarantees they need to exert unanticipated pressure on Melly. In addition to being a legal battlefield, the courtroom becomes a psychological battlefield where every word, gesture, and strategy is scrutinized. Minor details in Bortlen's statements could have sealed Melly's destiny. According to many possibilities that both fans and detractors are already conjecturing about. Some say that even if there is no snitching, this could tilt the scales. Others argue that there are still options available to Melly's defense team, emphasizing that Bortlen's plea is circumstantial and does not directly connect Melly. The tension is apparent both online and in court. Bortlen has worked to build a storm that crosses two universes: the severe loyalty laws of the street and the cold judgments of the legal system. Every tweet, post, and comment is now exerting pressure on an already controversial case. There is a lot on the line. Melly's position, freedom, and career are on the line. Even though Bortlen has to strike a balance between popular disapproval and legal survival, this is the kind of debate that transcends music. It is no longer only a legal battle, it's a cultural hot place. Hip-hop communities, the broader public, and casual fans are all watching, waiting, and reacting. Each twist in the courtroom drama, which has turned into a live-action thriller, is fueled by Bortlen's decisions. We're talking about how YNW Melly's world is collapsing in ways that were impossible for even the most illogical street gossip to predict. By now, everyone knows that Bortlen's pleas rocked the hip-hop scene, the courts, and social media. But the consequences are what give the play its dramatic height. Additionally, every fan, journalist, and street observer is holding their breath. Let's begin with the family reaction, since that is the core of the disorder. Melly's family members did more than grumble or shake their heads. They attacked Bortlen in court, emotionally, vocally, and in public. Imagine witnessing a former brother accept a plea that both protects and exposes you in a courtroom. Tears, anger, and disbelief, it was all there. More people heard the words snitch, traitor, and betrayer than the gavel could ever hope to. Viewers of the livestream were equally incensed. Twitter and Instagram were flooded with remarks. Bortlen had sold Melly out. This isn't loyalty, it's survival. Melly, keep going, we've got you. The strain was not just legal, it was unvarnished, intimate, and ready to go viral. Now let's look at why this is so bad for Melly. Although the confession was carefully phrased to avoid mentioning Bortlen by name, it gave prosecutors a plethora of circumstantial evidence. Timelines, event sequences, and confirmations of what happened after the killings cast doubt on Melly's defense. Any legal expert watching could see the strain was mounting. Both advantages and disadvantages could result from the 2027 retry. Luckily, Melly's lawyers have time to prepare. Unfortunately, any new evidence or confirmation could strengthen the prosecution's case, because the public is already predisposed to assume the worst. As a result, street culture is flourishing. Every second of the court case is being examined by rappers, fans, and insiders. Memes, response videos, and fiery takes are all becoming increasingly popular. The biggest snitch of the decade, Bortlen flipped the entire game on its head. Melly laid his trap while he was asleep. The story is clear in the court of public opinion. Bortlen simply used Melly's loyalty as currency to benefit from her survival. The story is going viral and is unstoppable because social media algorithms are making it more dramatic. Not to mention the consequences for the law, the Gunner plea, accessory after the fact charges, and witness tampering. These nuances are not unimportant. Each and every one bolsters the prosecution's case and creates a string of evidence that makes Melly's case more difficult. Despite not naming anyone, Bortlen identified actions that support the prosecution's timeline, so Melly's lawyers will have to put in twice as much effort to disprove every subtle point. Now that they have the background knowledge, all jurors, public observers, and analysts can comprehend Melly's actions, not in isolation, but as a part of a bigger web in which Bortlen is legally authenticating pieces of the puzzle. Now let's look at how the public and celebrities responded. Insiders in the hip-hop industry are adding to the vibrant online community. Some are defending Bortlen, saying that he did what anyone would do to escape being put to death or sentenced to life in prison. Some are furious and call him a traitor who overreacted. In TikTok videos, Instagram live rants, and industry podcasts, every word of the plea, every reaction from Melly's family, and every courtroom emotion are being scrutinized. Now, it's not just news. Real-life court dramas rarely inspire the kind of participation that this cultural event generates. Now imagine the courtroom as the last step. On camera, Melly's relatives are seen berating Bortlen, the court delivering orders, lawyers whispering strategies, and the weight of history weighing down on every action. In addition to being legal, the stakes are social, emotional, and viral. Every fan who watches feels like they are a part of the drama because they are. Social media ensures that nothing is private and that every comment, shout, and point of view becomes content that spreads widely. Let's fight the battle of the mind now. More than simply the legislation was changed by Bortlen's conduct. It shook Melly's confidence. Picture yourself in limbo, facing a retrial that might go either way, while someone who was your ride or die just flipped, ensuring their own release. Fans are devouring that tremendous mental strain online, creating a whirlwind of enthusiasm. And what will Melly do next? Will he seek creative or legal retribution? Is street loyalty going to exist, to return and haunt him? Every scenario promotes views, clicks, and discussions. This is the perfect setting for viral material. Now let's talk about the theories that people are buzzing about. If Melly's retrial proceeds with Bortlen's statement in the record, the prosecution could be able to confirm dates, locations, and actions, even in the absence of a direct accusation. It's revolutionary. Fans are analyzing everything. If Bortlen acknowledges that he was the driver, does Melly seem guilty? If confirmed, does witness tampering work against Melly? Every argument, theory, and meme promotes involvement in this story, which is designed to go viral. In the meanwhile, the impact on the industry is already apparent. There's murmuring among co-workers. Executives at the labels are closely monitoring everything. Social media numbers increase each time court footage is made public. Every new detail contributes to the story's ongoing creation. The story's ongoing creation. The fire. Even though Bortlen may have legally survived the public scrutiny, the snitch reputation, the loss of street trust, and the cultural implications will linger for years. And the worst is yet to come. The street versus law dynamic is at its peak right now. There are disagreements among supporters. Hip-hop communities differ from one another. Some say Bortlen did what he had to do to stay alive. Others viewed him as a traitor, an opportunist, and a man who prioritized independence over loyalty. The stress is palpable. Every single post, tweet, and reaction video raises the stakes. Every fan is clamoring for answers, and every influencer is assessing the repercussions. It's more than just legal drama. It is really emotive, cultural, and clickable. In summary, the story is far from over. With a new date of 2027, Melly's retrial is drawing near like a storm. The battlefield has evolved as a result of Bortlen's plea, yielding uncertainty, tension, and expectancy. Street insiders, fans, and media outlets are all watching, speculating, and forecasting. It's not merely a trial. In this modern story, loyalty, the law, and survival all come together, and every small detail could result in the next viral headline. Therefore, when we look at the repercussions, one thing is evident. This drama has it all. Street code, legal chess, treachery, chaos on social media, and a devoted following. As every move, comment, and response is amplified, this case has turned into a viral spectacle that will dominate headlines, feeds, and discussions for months, if not years. The countdown begins. Is anyone going to survive the storm? Will anyone get up? And who will bear the repercussions of their own choices? A clash between YNW Melly and YNW Bortlen has been set up, which is equal parts legal drama and cultural outburst. I assure you that you won't want to miss a moment of it. What are your thoughts on Bortlen's surprising move? Was it survival or open betrayal? Could Melly survive this chaos in the courts, or is the street code officially broken? Please share your thoughts in the comments section below. We want every single hot take. Click like if this twist makes you uneasy. In order to be the first to hear about all the breaking drama, don't forget to subscribe. Click the bell icon to make sure you don't miss any shocking updates, because a single error made by Melly and Bortlen could cause the internet to